Hello, have you gone home now?
Pardon?
Have you got home now?
Yeah, I'm home. I see. I've got the thickest of cloud here still, but I can see the moon behind it, or the light from the moon behind it.
Right.
But I have zero visibility of the moon. Did you see what I said you'd see?
Well, I mean, I've got it behind a tree at the moment, so I've come back home and actually got at least 10 minutes of it actually rising. And now I'm just going to leave this live stream running with the rest of it as it comes up and over this tree. Glad I moved
I
position.
don't think I don't think the live stream's working. You know, I'm getting a spinning circle. Are we live now?
Yeah, I started a new live stream, so I ended the one. I just took the phone up the road, just walked up the road with the phone while the last live stream was running, because I'd have sat here for an eternity before it got past this tree. Which doesn't seem like very long when you're doing a time lapse and you just review it afterwards. It's like, oh yeah, it gets past the tree in like 2 minutes. In reality, it's like probably an hour.
Yeah, you've got it as white now, right? The moon's back to white.
Yeah, it's just a crappy little dot though, isn't it, on a camera phone?
Did you see it the way I saw it? Into the like massive on the horizon, like orange yellow.
Yeah, but it just didn't do it justice on my phone.
I wish I'd have had a better view of it than nothing.
Well,
I've had absolutely zero.
Wish I had a better camera as opposed to an iPhone. But there we go. That's life.
So are you on your way back to your home now?
No, I'm back home now. I've just set up another live stream and stuck it up running with my little white dot of the moon.
Did you watch the planner walk hangout from this afternoon back?
I played a little bit of the recording, the live and uncut at the beginning of this live stream. So I got about 2 minutes into it because I knew you mentioned the harvest moon at the beginning of the live stream, so I just played that bit back.
You should watch that bit where Planner walks in and just gets savaged by the lion in the den. It was probably your best moment so far. You got absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, by me. It was you that started on him. I was only half paying attention.
Yeah, but well, no, not really. The part where you really get in your stride, once I'd laid the nest and you started jumping up and down on his head, it's just glorious to listen back to.
Oh, okay.
You should rewatch it tonight in bed or whatever and just listen to how fantastic it was, because if you didn't know what the independent variable was then, he's got to understand what the independent variable is now.
Well, it's your presumed cause. It needs to be something that's real, and it needs to be varied and manipulated by the researcher. There's pretty much only, there's only a handful of things that you have to call yourself an independent variable or call something an independent variable.
And what is it not?
It's not an elephant.
It's not an influencing factor.
Right, an influencing factor. Right.
That was what he said it was. He said it doesn't have to be your cause. It can be an influencing factor.
Right, we're trying to establish influencing factors and effects, are we?
Yeah. So I hope if you're watching Planner Walk, if you're watching right now, I hope you go back to the dictionary and read some definitions, because you might learn something.
It better have been a bloody good video because I've missed more than that.
What was that?
My wife's asking me if it was a good video. Back in a second, I'm just going to ask her.
Right, so I guess while Nathan's doing what he's doing, shout out to Ute, shout out to Rob Wiggles, and a shout out to Sarah, and Alpha de Terra Planet Alpha. Shout out to Agent Detective. It's quite a hangout this actually. What's going on? 40 watching, that'll be why. Everyone's having tea. Shout out to Manly Ankles, and a shout out to Shane Walter. Girly Ankles. Not seen Girly Ankles for ages. Where is Girly Ankles? Has anybody seen him recently? I've not seen him for a long time. I wonder if he's disappeared again. Deep inside the rabbit hole can have a whisper. That's a chocolate bar over here, a whisper. They brought it back out again after discontinuing it for a number of years. Riley, you've not said shush to anyone for ages. Felt like telling Arwin to shush today. Arwin's terrible at interrupting people, man. I'm gonna have to strangle him. Did anybody else in England, by the way, capture any Harvest Moon footage? Because I got clouded out for a second year on the run, which is really annoying. I'm hoping other people got a really good one. Nathan, iPhone allows manual focus. Tap and hold to check AEAF lockbox, adjust focus. I was on fields, yeah, Benjamin C. Nope, I was on fields ready and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it either. I had it fantastic over my west, where the sun had just set, and nothing over my east. Absolutely nothing. I'm gutted. Really gutted, because it's the second year I've missed it. It's the highlight of the year for me. It's one of the best things to observe. Earth Flattener, I'm thinking about recording the Harvest Moon in Chicago, but there are a lot of mosquitoes out. We'll see. Mosquitoes won't be interfering with the thing. They'll be out of focus. You'll not see them. Oh, you mean in case you get bitten? Okay. Nick fancies Arwin. Nick who? I think Nick is actually rumpus on a troll account. I don't think Nick's a real person. Yeah, I'm hoping other people get the Harvest Moon recorded. Because it makes no sense on the heliocentric model. If you haven't witnessed the Harvest Moon before, and you witness one when it rises, and you see it rise over the horizon, and then you literally watch it shrink back down to its normal size before your very eyes, you and remind yourself of what they tell us on the heliocentric model for it. It's utter garbage. Rob Kin, I'm going to film from British Columbia, Canada, in Vancouver. I hope so. Lol, it is smaller than normal moon here. Yeah, it will be smaller now, if you're in England or in the north of Europe. Deep inside the rabbit hole says, Nick, I make more money in a year than you'll make in your entire life. Hey. Nick equals Brenda. George Stevens, I'm going to try and catch it up over Lake Erie if I can find a spot. As long as you've got a horizon that's water and you've not got mountains everywhere, it's just so awe-inspiring for whatever causes it. Honestly, you just sit there and you'll be like, this makes absolutely no sense running whatsoever. I've just said running then because I saw Vinegar Strokes' comment saying, whoa, you've two streams running.
Are you watching the live stream?
No, I'm watching the chat. Vinegar says I was in the wrong stream. This one works, the other is just a spinning circle.
The other one
yeah,
just went wrong because I was walking around and about with 4G.
Right. Yeah, being totally mobile doesn't really help when you're abroad. When you're
No.
even on a Skype call, it's not easy to do.
I don't know. I reckon I might give up on my dot. What do you think?
Yeah, because unless you can see it clearly now, is it still being blocked by the tree?
Yeah, and I reckon it's well above the horizon now.
Because that's, I mean, if you, it's not quite clear of the tree. If you were to see that with the tree not being in the way, you would say that would be the normal size of the moon.
Correct.
It's well above the horizon now.
I would say
But
so,
the key
yeah.
point is catching it. The key point is catching it as it comes up and over the horizon, not where it is at now.
Which I did,
But
and
I
it
don't
was.
know whether you did.
Well, no, I did, but you know, it's like anything. You can't get a scale of it on a mobile phone unless you've got something like a P900 and you can zoom in on it. But even then, how do you get a scale of it? It's one of those things. You've got to kind of see it to believe it. And even then, when I
it was massive.
Well, I remember, this is a fairly well-trodden story, but I remember on a few live streams pointing out people that I've stood and looked at the moon illusion, as they call it, and pointed it out to people, and they haven't batted an eyelid. Even when you literally point there and then in the moment, it's there right in front of your bare naked eyes, and you go, look at that, isn't that amazing? And they go, what about it? And the same kind of thing can be said today. You know, I was walking up the street with the whatever you call that instrument that holds the camera steady. You know, I'm looking weird because I'm holding some big instrument with a phone attached to it, and looking at the moon. And people are paying more attention to me than they are to the moon, even though it's massive.
Right, I was going to say, so the answer to my question was yes, you thought it was massive.
Yeah, but I mean, that's no shock.
Well, the shock's not so much the fact that it's massive, it's just the explanation for it is, it's non sequitur. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's clearly following a cycle, it's clearly following a pattern, and it's got nothing to do with pollutants in the atmosphere caused by whatever they call it. It's not an illusion. It is massive compared to the way it actually is. Utter nonsense on the heliocentric model. I don't care what people say about it. It doesn't make sense. It's totally non sequitur.
Fair enough. Right, I'm going to round out this live stream.
Yeah, let's go to a wrap because my tea's ready now, so I'll catch you later.
Fair enough.
Laters.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in, people in the live stream.